This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Your stem cells, your health, your life.
I think fertilizer is one of the things that people need to look at. I think everyone over-fertilizes way more than they think. We've seen cutting of fertilizer rates, not seeing reduction in yields. Less tillage equals more infiltration. You're building soil aggregates. We're seeing that on our own fields. In the old Dust Bowl, and so when it rains, it pours, and when the wind blows, it really blows. So you never know what Mother Nature, the weather forecast, doesn't work for our area. We are on our own kind of most of the time on the weather. So it's hard to make cover crops work because you don't know when it's going to rain. But when it rains, you need to jump on it and you need to get something established. That's the only way you can keep cover on the ground. It's the only way you keep it from blowing, and it's the only way you're going to feed the biology and not starve the microbes. So we're trying to be as opportunistic as we can using the harsh weather that we're faced with. But it is possible, it is working. We're not too dry to grow a cover crop. It does take extra planning, and it puts someone out of his comfort zone, because you gotta do something that every land-grant university in a 1,000-mile radius tells you is not working. So we gotta be against the flow. Just like everything else, 3, 4, 5 years down the line, they would probably figure out why it's working for us. But right now we're on our own, and it's a system we believe in. It's a system I believe we need to do. Change, I think, is inevitable, and it's coming. We're using less water, we're using less fertilizer, and we're raising good yields. So why would the guy not jump on something that's going to make him money and save him money? I think yield is good. I think yield's important. Obviously, you don't want to make a loss, but I don't think everything should be yield driven. We try and focus more on balancing the ratios, trying to get everything in a balance, get the Brix up, get the sugar content up, which means the protein's going to go up. If you want good exudation, you're probably going to need to keep everything in balance. And in the end of the day, it's the exudation, the breathing of the plant that feeds the soil. All the sugars that the plant produces in the day, it pushes back to the roots at night. And not everything, but a good portion of it. And that's what feeds the biology. And in the end of the day, the quicker you can get the biology to grow, the quicker the biology will feed the plant. The multi-species is I think, is the future. Just like humans, animals like to eat several things. They don't like to eat just one thing. And when you put them in a multi-species environment, you can see that, because 2 different sheep will go into a new paddock, and none of them will eat the same thing. The one will eat radish first, the one will eat barley first, and so they all know what their body needs, and it's the same way. And when you give them that option, they're going to eat what they need. They're going to eat what's healthy. When they only have that grass to eat, that's when you start having mineral problems. You start having all kinds of gut problems, because they're trying to digest something that is hard to digest sometimes at the same time of the year. I think sometimes the lab guys get carried away in numbers and they can't explain things. We're on the other side of the aisle where we see things happening, but we can't explain it. So, getting us together with some of the university people is nice, because they got something else to work on that they don't necessarily get the feedback that they need sometimes. And I think there's enough people here that's already doing what we're doing, but we can't necessarily explain everything we're doing. I mentioned in my talk about Dr. Foster making something, explaining to us why the daikon radish is working for us. And that we didn't know that 4 years ago, but we believed in it because we saw what it was doing for our wheat. Well, he explained to us why it's doing it. So it's nice when you can connect the 2 sides of the aisle and figuring something out.